Today I'm going to be making a big request of you. If you are someone that's interested in improving your communication and being an effective speaker, someone who, when you talk, your goal is not to become invisible, but your goal is to share what it is that you want to share with others, because I'm a firm believer that our words are our most valuable contribution to the world. We can do more with our words than we can with our hands, and today I'm going to help you do that even more effectively. We're going to be taking a look at a poem and going over some key considerations that I'd like you to have whenever you talk. Because if you can keep these things in mind, I think it's going to help you become more effective in the very things that you say. I'm not here to do this alone. No, today I got some help, which is exciting. Um, Once more, this stream is called The Express. It's a show, it's a class right here on the Forward channel where we're talking all about communication. And to guide us with our strategies today, we have Ivan, we have Alyssa, and we have Barbara. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Appreciate you all. Give me a moment and I'm going to pull up our poem for today. And hello also to Gancham hanging out with us in the chat. All right. So this is our piece that we're going to be exploring with, and there's some things that I want to highlight. But before we do that, I kind of just want to see how each of you would say this normally without much preparation and things like that. I'm just going to go in order on my screen. So I see Ivan, I see Alyssa, and then I see Barbara. Ivan, whenever you're ready, can you just read all of this for me?
Oh, sure. When Eve walked among the animals and named them, nightingale, red-shouldered hawk, fiddler crab, fallow deer. I wonder if she ever wanted to. I'm sorry. I wonder if she ever wanted them to speak back, look into their wide, wonderful eyes, and whisper, "Name me, name me."
Thank you very much for doing that. I know it's hard to be the first one, so I appreciate you doing that. Thank you, Ivan. What's up, Tagachi? And joining us on screen, which is exciting. Alyssa, I'm going to turn down to you. If you're able to, if you remember the poem, if you have a device to read it, if you could read it for me.
All right. Can you hear me well? Just want to check.
Mhm.
Okay. So, when Eve walked among the animals and named them nightingale, the red-shouldered hawk, fiddler crab, fallow deer. I wonder if she wanted them to speak back, looked into their wide, wonderful eyes, and whispered, "Name me, name me." Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Alyssa, as always. That was great. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to slide down to Barbara. Barbara, can you read this for us?
When Eve walked among the animals and named them nightingale, red-shouldered hawk, fiddler crab, fallow deer. I wonder if Cheryl wanted to speak back, looked into their wide, wonderful eyes, and whispered, "Name me, name me."
Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate that. And then, Gancham, if you would like to read this, you are more than welcome to as well.
When we walked, among the animal and named them nightingale, red-shouldered hawk, fiddler crab, fallow deer. Uh, I wonder if she wanted them to speak back, look into the wide, wonderful eyes, and whisper, "Name me, name me."
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, so I think by and large, we were reading this in a way that I think is fine. I think conveys the message. I thought everyone read this in a way that's understandable and clear. And in fact, we also read this in a way that I think if you brought this to native speakers, I think that the native speakers also probably read it in a somewhat similar way as well. Okay. I've been thinking a lot about this concept of native speaker recently. And I know a lot of times we use native speakers as the model. A lot of us here are language learners. And I challenge us not to sound like native speakers because I think, honestly, we can probably sound better than native speakers. So that's what I'm going to push us towards. I'm going to push us to sound better, because I think if you gave this text to a native speaker, they probably wouldn't read it all that great. You know, honestly, I don't think it would be a really wonderful experience. And I would like it to be a wonderful experience because we can do a lot. And so today I'm going to walk through some things I want you to consider that are going to make this a little bit more evocative. To do this, and to make sure that you can see this for yourself without me kind of getting in the way, I don't want to read this poem myself. I want you guys to see the transformation yourselves. And then you guys are going to see how much more natural this is going to sound. You don't need me as a guide in the sense of being a model. You already have all the tools you need to make this sound expressive, evocative, and impactful. Okay. So when I'm looking at this text, I start thinking about motive. Why are we saying what we're saying? And I think a lot of times when we talk, we're not always aware of why we're saying what we're saying. We don't really know what we're doing. We just we move on instinct and what feels right in the moment, which is fine. It works. I'm asking that we be more intentional. We be more strategic. We think about the motive behind why are we doing what we're doing. So when I'm looking at this poem, I see parts. I see different sections. From a social linguistic perspective, each of these parts has different functions. Okay. Most of these parts almost fall into like two-line parts, two-line sections. So for instance, when I'm looking at this first part, we see when Eve walked among the animals and named them. Why are we saying that? What's the goal of those first two lines? When Eve walked among the animals and named them. Why are we saying that, do you think? What's the goal?
It serves as the opening statement, I guess.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
Like the introduction part.
Okay, and what do you want to do when you introduce something?
You want to get everyone's attention, I believe.
Okay, so we need some attention. That's a good word. Anything else?
Maybe you want to convey the topic.
Okay. So people need to know kind of like what's the area that we're talking about. So to give some idea of what the topic is. Great. Any other ideas? Try and get attention. Try and introduce the topic. Any other things that need to happen as we start?
Just explaining what's going to happen, but I think that's related to the topic. Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of like saying some expectations a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we're trying to get attention, let's not even worry about the text for a moment. Let's just talk. Okay. Have you guys ever seen like a James Bond movie? Anyone here seen James Bond? Action movie? Okay, cool. How does a James Bond movie start? What happens at the beginning of every James Bond movie?
Music or what?
It's even before the music. Actually, it's even before they do. They have that whole like montage thing that they do or whatever. It's even before that. How do they start? Especially like the last ones.
Hard to explain. Something mysterious happens here.
Okay.
Because you know it's James Bond.
Okay. How about
colors, music.
As you guys think about that, another one. Think like Star Wars. Have you guys seen Star Wars before? Like the old Star Wars, the original one? Ivan's like, no, Ivan's too young. How does the opening of Star Wars begin? In fact, a lot of Star Wars movies, not even just the old ones. How do they start?
What was there? Space or no?
They are in space. This is true. Good. You can think of honestly any sort of action movie.
Any. Yeah, yeah.
Probably even in your own cultures.
It's like having the bigger picture of something. No?
Honestly, no.
No?
In my opinion, no. When I think of like the James Bond, like the Danny Craig movies, like the more recent ones, they start with some random. There's like a fight scene. They're like running through like the streets and stuff like that. Stuff's exploding. Um, for Star Wars, the original trilogy, how does the original Star Wars open? There's a ship flying through space that's being shot at by another ship. We don't know anything about the story yet. We have no idea. You know, we don't know why any of this action is happening, but it's starting there. Why is that happening? Why are they doing that?
To keep the audience like fixed, or get
Yeah,
their attention, is what Ivan said.
yeah. So imagine that you're telling your friend a story. I mean, that's what any piece of writing. It's a poem, but it's a story, right? It's the same thing, you know. So we're telling a story in our poem. So this first line, this is the very first line. This is what you get at first, right? When Eve walked among the animals, so you guys keep mentioning this word attention and getting people interested. So if this is the opening line, what do I need to do with my voice to get attention? What do I need to do?
You need to be articulate.
I have to be articulate? When you say articulate, what does that mean? How do you be articulate?
Loud enough, I believe.
Okay, so I might need some volume. Okay, what else? Volume?
It's a tricky question because sometimes you don't need volume when you have this quiet confidence. No? It
So
really
it sounds
depends.
okay.
I would, yeah, I think I would have raised my voice, but I sometimes it actually lowering your voice.
So notice that. So Ivan said louder voice. Barbara's saying quieter voice. What neither of us is saying is normal voice, right?
Yeah.
So maybe not just sticking with, oh, this is the volume I use all the time, so I'm going to use this to open this door. Maybe not that. Maybe I go quieter. Maybe I start like this. Like, hey guys, I'm going to tell you a story. Or maybe I go like, hey guys, I'm going to tell you a story. But maybe doing normal volume, maybe that's not going to work. Okay. What else can I do?
With your voice, or
Yeah.
yeah.
So I might change my normal volume. What else might I do?
Scream.
Besides volume, what else can I do?
Like
You can change
use
your
your hands,
intonation, I believe.
face. Yeah.
Okay, we can talk about, so there's some body language things we could do, potentially. Ivan also mentioned intonation. Okay. Can you give me an example, Ivan?
I'm not sure, but like when you stress a word, it's in a go higher pitch, just like you keep reiterating.
Okay. So maybe I need to change my pitch. Maybe I don't want to just stay in the middle. Maybe I need to go higher, maybe I need to go lower, but maybe I can't be at that normal pitch range. So I can change my volume, change my speed, I can change my pitch. I could change like my firmness or softness, right? So like these are all the things. So with that in mind, this first part, can we read this again? Doing what you guys are telling me. You guys told me that this is going to get attention and it's going to, generate interest and things like that. So Ivan, you're telling me a story. You weren't telling me a story before. Now you're telling me a story. How would you read the first two lines to get my attention? How would you read it?
I would go with When Eve walked among the animals and named them.
How is that
When
different than what you did before?
Probably the intonation, I believe.
Probably or definitely?
Probably. I'm not sure about that.
Well, if you're not sure, why am I going to be sure? You're the speaker. You're the one in charge. So here's the thing, guys. Like if you have doubts as you're talking, then your listener's going to have doubts. So first things, pronunciation. I tell this to people all the time. Pronunciation, speaking, communication. It's not a physical thing. It's a psychological thing.
Yeah.
So if you want to become a more natural speaker, you gotta get more confident in yourself. First of all, it's a mindset thing. We need healthier mindsets. Okay. So that's the first thing. I don't want to hear like, oh, I probably did this. No, you did or you didn't. So do it or not. Ivan, I'll be honest. The way you read it right there, it sounded very similar to me than to how you read it the first time. But you told me that you're going to play around with volume and you're going to play around with pitch and you're going to play around with all these other things. You didn't do any of that. Do you think you can?
Oh, let's try again. When Eve walked among the animals and named them.
Okay. So one of the things that's happening with Ivan as he's saying that, to me, Ivan, when I'm hearing that, when I say like high energy or low energy, do you guys know what that means? High energy, low energy? Okay. What does low energy sound like? If something's low energy, what does that sound like?
This is low energy.
I like that. Can I get some more examples? I thought it was like this is low energy. Good. What are some characteristics of low energy? What are some characteristics?
No contrast. Everything just sounds the same.
Okay, so little contrast.
Yeah.
When you do you think it's fast or slow?
Slow.
Can be
Slow?
both. Slow?
I don't know. We can experiment and see. Okay, so maybe slower. Do you think it's higher pitch or lower pitch?
Lower pitch.
Probably lower pitch. So notice that you already have these associations mentally. When you hear something that's low pitch, slow, and with little contrast, your brain interprets that as low energy. Okay? Low pitch, slow, little contrast. Your brain says that's low energy. This is the intro. This is the first two lines of what you say. Do you think this should be low energy or high energy?
I would picture it as low energy.
Can you give me an example?
With
Listen,
a different dialogue, you mean?
No, we can use this. We can use the first two lines. Same first two lines from when Eve down to name them.
Okay, so from that text, because my mind is set to I wonder, so I'm picturing like curiosity is in this person's head all the time. It's like
Okay.
when Eve walked among the animals and named them.
Okay. So let me pause you there. So, because I like that. So how did Alyssa just start? Notice there's several things she did. Like she started with like you know when. So what she started off faster, and then she slowed down afterwards. But she started a little faster. She also raised the pitch. She also started firmer. Like when. She's not saying like when Eve walked. She's not doing that. Okay. So these are just things that we want to consider with our opening. This is what we want to consider with our start. When you're starting a story. If you're starting James Bond, you can't start James Bond like this. I'm driving on the highway. 5 miles an hour in traffic. Like, it's not. No one's gonna watch that movie.
Horror movie.
No one's gonna watch. Barbara, don't say that. Every day of my life is a horror movie. Then that's not good. Like, no one's gonna watch that movie. No one's gonna watch that. Okay. So just some things to consider for that opening. These are things for those first 2 lines. Maybe that's what you want to be thinking about. After we say these first 2 lines, so again, from me, when Eve walked among the animals and named them, then we get like all these different animals. What's happening here? Why am I saying all these animal names? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 different animals. Why am I saying them? What's the goal?
There's pastoral. There's some like strange animals that I feel connected to, and I want to make sure I describe them.
Okay, so can you say that last part again, Barbara? You want to make sure that what?
Describe that I describe them, like
Yeah. Okay.
like something that. Yeah.
So I'm giving some examples. I want to make sure I describe them. So it's I view it as like an elaboration.
Elaborate. Yeah.
I'm going deeper on something that I just said. This is an elaboration on the animals, right? So I'm taking these animals and I'm talking about their names, and then I'm giving you some examples of that. Okay. Have you guys ever like said something and then elaborated on it?
All the time.
All the time. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about what we do. What's our strategy with our voice when we do that? So when you take an idea, give me an idea that you can elaborate on. Any idea. Barbara, what's an idea that we can elaborate on?
From my life, or
Sure. That's fine.
okay. Should I drink coffee at night? I don't know. Is that an idea?
Okay.
Or what kind of idea?
Tell me about like do you have a lot of hobbies?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of hobbies?
Walking in the park.
Okay. So this is perfect. I'll stop you there.
Morning.
Okay. So notice what just happened. I asked Barbara, "Did you have a lot of hobbies?" And she's like, "Yeah, I think so." And I asked her, "Great. What are some of your hobbies?" And you're like, "Walking in the park." So you see, even right there was a little bit of a difference. Yeah, I have hobbies. Walking in the park. What did you do with your voice? What did you do? Yeah, I have hobbies. Walking in the park.
Yeah, I was enthusiastic. Yeah.
What happened when you gave the example? What did you do with your voice?
I started thinking and I lowered my voice.
And you lower, yeah. So I think a lot of times, and it's not all the time, right? But I think a lot of times when we elaborate on an idea, what we often do is I think go lower in pitch. I have this idea. This is the idea. It does this. Here's how you solve the problem. First you do this, then you do this, then you do this. This is the big idea. Here's all how it's going to work. Okay. That's a common expectation that your listener has that you can indicate with your voice. Okay, you don't even need to know the words, but just hearing the music, you kind of know what's happening. Okay. So when I'm looking at this next part, that's the function I see happening here. I'm elaborating. Okay. Questions for me so far? Okay. I hope that you're thinking about how to apply this to your own life and the next time that you have a conversation. The next time you need to tell a story. The next time you need to introduce the concept. What you need to do to start it in a way that's intriguing. What you need to do to keep it going. What do you think is this goal of this next part? This next part says, I wonder if she ever wanted them to look back. What's the goal there? I wonder if she ever wanted them to speak back. It's the main idea.
yeah, it's like the person is actually wondering. The first I think 4 lines were like at the back of her or his head, and then it goes back to the present. Like, I wonder if blah blah blah,
Hmm. Yeah,
like that.
yeah, I agree. Okay, and I know some of you have already seen the classes before, so these aren't new ideas, but that's why I think this is. I think that this whole story started, this whole poem started consciously or subconsciously because of this idea. This I wonder, the thing that we're wondering. Everything that we're saying is about this. When you tell a story to your friend or to your partner, yeah, you have to start the story at the beginning, but that's not why you're telling the story. You're telling the story for what happens probably in the middle or towards the end. That's the whole reason for it. Okay. You have to get there, but part B is the heart. Part A is just the vehicle to arrive there. Okay. So let's talk again about strategies with our voice and things like that. When you want to show the person you're talking to that you've arrived at the main idea, this is the thing. What do you do with your voice? What do you think you do?
I think I might pause before the idea.
Okay, we might play around pausing. We might separate it so that we give it some
Yeah.
room to breathe.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. What else?
I agree with Barbara because of the M in the text. It's like a sign that you need to stop for a moment and then go back to. I wonder.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that's great. I think having some separation with it, pausing. I think pausing is an underutilized tool. I wish people would do it more. Okay. What else can I do with my voice, though? How else can I let my listener know that this is the thing? This is why I'm telling you all this. What else can I do?
Saying a little excitement.
So, can you say it one more time?
Saying a little excitement.
Okay, I should do
High
first.
energy. First line.
Okay, so it's like raising things higher,
Yeah.
going up. Yeah, I think a lot of times when we want to create separation or to highlight something, we raise the pitch. And in fact, when we heard Alyssa doing her own readings of this, that's something. This is the moment where she probably went maybe not the highest because maybe we started pretty high, but it went higher compared to what came before it. Okay, so this is a moment to elevate. Okay. In the interest of time, we're going to go a little bit faster. It's like looked into their wide, wonderful eyes. Do you notice that this next step, looked into their wide, wonderful eyes, this is just another elaboration. It's just continuing the wonder. I wonder if she did this and this. We're just elaborating. We're just lengthening the main idea. It's the same thing we saw earlier. So this is just a little elaboration. Okay. And then lastly, we finish with a command. And in fact, the nice thing about this command is it actually gives us stage directions. It tells us what to do. It says whisper. It literally tells you what to do. It's literally right there. Okay. Ivan, can you whisper name me twice? Can you whisper that? Ivan, you're such a good whisperer. Some people are loud whisperers. That was perfect. That was a great whisper.
Name. Name.
Ivan, why didn't you do that in the original? At the beginning, when we had you read this, why didn't you whisper it?
I don't know because probably it's 12 a.m. right now. The inner
I don't
circle is
know.
distracted.
Maybe. I don't know about you, but when I'm sleepy and tired, I talk lower. I just want to go. That would be the easiest line for me to do. I'm sorry.
And
Okay.
even I stumbled on my words a bit in the beginning.
Uh, Ivan, the words are the least important part of what you say. It's the least important part. Who cares what the words are? It's everything else. It's the whole package. It's the facial expressions. It's the body. It's the tone. It's the pitch. It's the movement of those. It's the speed. Your listener gets more information from those than from the words you say. Okay. Who cares if you stumble over your words? In fact, sometimes it's probably better to stumble over your words. Like if I'm I'm really passionate about this, that becomes more evocative because I stumbled. Don't run from it. It can actually be an asset. It can be a strength. Your weakness is your greatest strength. Okay? Lean into it. So, to recap what we just talked about, today we're talking about motive. We're talking about understanding why are we saying what we're saying. Because the greater understanding you have of why you say what you say, the more you can lean into it. And instead of just acting on your instincts and your gut, you can start acting with intentionality. So, what I'd like you guys to do with these things that we just talked about. We talked about opening, the first two lines, when Eve walked among the animals and named them. That part, naming the topic and trying to get attention. We talked about strategies to do that. Then after that, we talked about there's some examples. We talked about a lot of times when you elaborate and give examples, maybe you go lower in pitch and weaker, right? Then we get to our main idea. The main idea, we want to stand out. We're telling people why are we talking about what we're talking about. Okay, so maybe we elevate, maybe we separate with pauses, things like that. Then we have another elaboration. And then we finish with the command. Okay. I want to go through this one more time. I'm going to give you one more chance. One more chance to read this, thinking about everything that we just discussed. Okay. Ivan, can you take us off first?
Sure. When Eve walked among the animals and named them, nightingale, red-shouldered hawk, fiddler crab, fallow deer. I wonder if she ever wanted to. I wonder if she ever wanted them to speak back, look into their wide, wonderful eyes, and whisper,
Okay. Ivan, you have that last line down. That last line is fantastic. It's very good. I need you to continue working on pitch. I'll be honest, I heard no pitch variation. The pitch for all those sections was more or less the same. Okay. That's what I need you to continue working on. Okay. I'm going to move down to Barbara.
Is my connection okay? Because I can see that the video is not really working. Yeah?
We're going to hope.
Okay. That's inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay. When he walked among the animals and named them, nightingale, who's that? Red-shouldered hawk, fiddler crab, fallow deer. I wonder if she ever wanted them to speak back. Looked in their wide, wonderful eyes and whispered, "Name me, name me."
Hey, we got an actress in here. Hey. This was,
Yay.
Barbara, you took me on a much more intriguing journey. Compare that to where we opened. I'm much more interested in the way we just read that there than the first time.
Yeah, I was following your instructions.
Yep.
So, thanks.
And imagine, that's just after 15 minutes of working on this, 20 minutes of working on this? Like imagine if you practice this a little bit every day, you read this again in a week, this is just 15 minutes. This is such a short time, and look how the change already. So that's really fantastic. Ganshin, would you like to read this?
When you walked among the animals and named them, nightingale, red-shouldered hawk, fiddler crab, fallow deer. I wonder if she ever wanted them to speak back, look into their wide, wonderful eyes, and whisper, "Name me, name me."
Ooh, I like to pause. Just to note one thing that Ghanshyam just did there on the repetition. So when you repeat something, repetition is a very powerful rhetorical device, very powerful speaking device. Okay. When you repeat something, though, don't repeat it the same way. So, for instance, the first time Ghanshyam did it, he was like, "Name me." Then what you do the second time, he slowed it down, right? So it was like, "Name me, name me." So like going a little slower on the second time, adding that little pause between name and me. I like those devices a lot. Gotcha. There's something I want you to continue working on. It's probably firmness and softness, which is slightly interfering with pitch as well. Those parts where we have the description, like the nightingale, like the animal part, we're still pretty firm there, and that's kind of elevating your pitch. So it's making it hard to lower the pitch. Okay, so we got to continue working a little bit on softness and things. Really liked what you did on that
Yeah,
last song.
I'm working on that.
Cool. Keep going. I like the adjustments. That was a much more enjoyable experience than the first time.
I'm working on that firmness and softness.
Keep going. I like to hear it. Thank you, Gotcha. I'm going to slide down to Alyssa. Would you like to read this one more time?
I'm going to be in curiosity mode.
Let's go.
When Eve walked among the animals and named them nightingale, the red-shouldered hawk, fiddler crab, fowl deer, I wonder if she wanted them to speak back, looked into their wide, wonderful eyes, and whispered, "Name me, name me, name me, animals. Come on, name me."
That's perfect. Okay. Listen, if there's a moment that I'd like you to continue exploring, I think it's the opening. Because I thought we had a lot of energy and things in the middle, especially like from the I wonder part down. I thought the opening was okay. I wasn't like opposed to it, but from a listener's perspective, I would have liked to be intrigued more.
Okay.
Like even adding some of those like filler words and things like that. Like like when Eve walked among the animals.
So I can add filler words. I was trying to like omit that.
Okay, but if you don't want to use it, that's fine. If you don't want the filler words, maybe you like repetition. Like when Eve walked, like something like that.
Right.
There's a lot of things we can do. A lot of things we can do. Lots of opportunities to play. All right. Thank you all for exploring that piece with me. I hope that if you were watching this on the replay, that you also got something from this too. Hope that you can start, think about the very next time that you talk. Every time you open your mouth is an opportunity to do these same things. It's not that you have to wait for a class or you have to wait for me to be around. You can do this the very next time you talk with someone. Okay. And it makes a rich, more enjoyable experience. You become more dynamic. Your listener becomes more invested in what you say.
Jeff, actually, this is my first time. I'm a little nervous. This is my first time on the face-to-face, so I'm a little nervous right now.
That's okay. Nothing wrong with being nervous. It's not a crime. It's good to feel things. I think it's important when you're speaking to acknowledge the emotion that you feel. Don't hide it, embrace it. And try to understand why you feel it. It's one thing to say I'm nervous. It's another thing to say that, I'm here today because I'm nervous, out of excitement and a little bit of fear because I've never done this before. That's very human. Don't hide it. Don't try to not be nervous. If you're nervous, you're nervous. Whatever you feel, just name it. Any other questions or things from you guys?
I have a question.
Okay.
In part, I wonder, can I repeat Like, I, it's like, I wonder, like, I wonder
Yeah.
if, and then pause, if she ever wanted them to speak back, and then pause, and looked into their wide, wonderful eyes, and whispered, and then, there you go.
It can work. Why not? Try it out.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big fan of
All right.
repetition. I'm a big fan of repetition. I think it's a great device.
I'm conscious about repetition because I tend to repeat myself a lot.
It can be a real feature. You don't want it to be a distraction, obviously, but it can be really powerful.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you all for hanging out with me. The best part of everything that we talked about today is that it's not limited by English. Who cares that we did this in English? You can do this in any language. I don't care what your first language is. Everything we talked about applies. Okay, this is nothing to do with English. This is entirely about just communication. Okay. So think about how you can do this the next time you talk. I'll see you all later. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed it.
Thank you guys.